Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And today, before I get into the video, you might be wondering, why are you standing so far to the right with so much empty screen on the left? And ready editing, Jonah, 3, 2, 1, bam, let it slide in there, boom. There's the big bar, and not big bar is here today because there's going to be a lot of information on that, because I'm going to need to fit my predictions and what actually happened with the season. Because today, as you saw with the title, I am going to be reviewing the standings predictions that I made around when my channel started, but at the start of the season, and see how close I actually was. And yeah, a spoiler for you guys, I don't think you guys will care that much if I say this, but I was not close at all with my predictions. But let's get straight into it, starting off with the Pacific. And really, the Pacific shows that I did not do good because it looks terrible. I only got 2 teams right, and immediately we start off with a team that I got dreadfully wrong, and that is Vegas. Vegas I thought would be so much better this season, and that just hasn't happened. And then we look at Calgary. Calgary I thought would be worse this season, and they're basically Calgary and Vegas kind of switched what I thought they'd be. And then you got Seattle. Man, this whole division just went poorly. Like, I thought Seattle would be close to the playoffs because I looked at them at the start of the season. I said, hey, you know what? They got Philip Grubauer, who is a solid goalie, right? Right? Come on, you thought it too. I was thinking it. Philip Grubauer is a solid goaltender, or was a solid goaltender, but he'd only played on good teams. But I still figured, like, in Seattle, you know, he's a good goalie. He's always put up over 920. The advanced analytic crowd would have said otherwise, but I believed in Philip Grubauer was a good goalie, and obviously that has not looked good. And Seattle, like, they just haven't looked good, and I was way off with that. Yeah, and with the, like, at least I nailed the Oilers and the Ducks, right? Like, I nailed the Oilers and the Ducks here, got both of them in the exact position that I figured they'd be, so that's very good there. And then you got LA, Anaheim, and San Jose. The California teams, I said they'd be at the bottom, with LA being the best of them. Well, LA, you know, they have been pretty good, definitely surprised me. Some people had them higher, but I didn't. But yeah, they've surprised me, made the playoffs, and this Pacific Division has definitely been turned on its head because basically all the teams I had at the bottom are like doing pretty solid, and all the teams I had at the top are doing below expected. So yeah, it has this Pacific Division did not go good other than the Oilers and Anaheim. But now on to the Central Division. And for the Central Division, things went a bit better here actually, because like I nailed Colorado, I nailed St. Louis and Arizona. Now you might be saying, Colorado and Arizona, those are so easy to nail. Yes, but each team counts. I nailed those 2 teams, and St. Louis being third, I did pretty good. Now you might be looking at Winnipeg in between those 2 teams that I nailed. Yes, I was very off with Winnipeg, 100%. I looked at them and said, they got good goaltending, they have good depth, Hellebuck's a very good goalie. On paper, their forward group is very good, and defensively, they've upped their defense. They got Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt, and I'm like, they should be a good team this year. Last year, they made the playoffs, and this year, I think they'll build on that. Yeah, that hasn't happened. They have missed the playoffs drastically. They're in 6th right now in their division, a little bit below a wild card spot, like a good amount below the wild card spot. Like, they're not even competing. The whole year for Winnipeg, it's just been meh. It's just been meh the whole year. It hasn't been, like, they haven't even looked good at parts. Maybe towards the end when they were trying to stay alive, but for the most part, just meh. Nothing much to write home about. But yeah, with the wild card teams, I pretty much nailed it with Dallas. I said Minnesota would be a wild card team. They did a little better than I thought. But the other actual wild card team that I said would completely miss the playoffs was Nashville, and man, have they surprised me. Like, I thought that their forward group was not good enough to be a playoff team. Like, even though Jussi Saros, great goalie, defense without Ryan Ellis, it's hurt, but still solid defense. I did not see their forward group being good enough, and it has proven me wrong, because it's not like they're it's not like they're top in the league in forwards, like, oh my god, this team is dynamite offensively, but they're doing good enough offensively that Jussi Saros and their defense can help them, like, push for a playoff spot. Now, whether they go far in the playoffs, probably not, but maybe. They're definitely capable of an upset and definitely do better as underdog. But yeah, Nashville having a way better season than I thought they'd have. And yeah, Chicago did pretty good with. So the Central actually went pretty good compared to the Pacific Division. But now moving on to the Eastern Conference. And right now, I have gotten 5 out of 14 teams correct. So, you know what? Not bad, right? That's like a little under half. Does it get better in the East? Hopefully, with the Atlantic Division, we can see, and already I start off good. Yeah, this division didn't go good. But one thing you'll notice with the Atlantic is I definitely nailed the playoff teams and the non-playoff teams. Looking at it, like, I got that top 4, that bottom 4. Now, they're in a little bit of a shuffled order, but yeah, overall pretty good. But looking at the non-playoff teams, one team that definitely shocked me this season was the Buffalo Sabres, for sure. The Buffalo Sabres, I figured, like, at the start of the season, they are a dumpster fire. I'm like, this team is a dumpster fire, and I like Buffalo. That's why I have a Buffalo jersey right there. I spent money on that because I like Buffalo. I was gonna grab my hat, but it's not worth it. Plus I have the mic, obviously it's wired. But yeah, Buffalo, I have a jersey for a reason. Not Vancouver. Vancouver, you're okay, but that was just on sale. And it is Fanatics, but it was $30, so you can't skip out on that. But yeah, Buffalo, I have that jersey for a reason, and I'm like, they're a dumpster fire. And they haven't been, you know, with Tage Thompson looking good, that trade, the Eichel trade with Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuch have looked great, and then you got that first round pick this year. Really, Buffalo's looked great and have shocked me, and they've kind of switched positions with what I thought Montreal would be. Now, I thought Montreal would be competing for a playoffs, and that's not the case with Buffalo. Like, you may look at Buffalo, if you didn't know the points, you'd look at Boston and Buffalo being just below the playoff line in 5th and be like, oh my gosh, Buffalo competed for a playoff spot. How is this possible? Not quite. There's a 30-point differential between them and Boston. The East is crazy with that top half, bottom half. Every team in the East making the playoffs is over 100 points, and that's absolutely insane, or at least going to be. Washington's just short, but they're going to hit it. They're at 99. They're going to hit it. But yeah, overall, like, pretty close. Montreal, like I said, flipped with Buffalo. They have been a dumpster fire. Now, not as bad of a dumpster fire as I thought Buffalo would be. Like Montreal, there are your upside. You know, you got Cole Caulfield, you got Joshua Roy, you got Riley Kidney, who I believe is one of their prospects, I think. And you got an early first-round pick this year who could end up being Shane Wright. So, hoping for that. But either way, it's going to be a good player. So, Montreal, not as doom and gloom as it looks. But yeah, Florida got right. Figured they'd be a great team. Tampa, pretty close. Boston, oh my God, it happens sometimes. Boston being pretty close. Toronto, pretty close. That must have sounded like ear rape. But yeah. Atlantic, pretty close. But now moving on to the Metro and the last division. Obviously, unless I did a random made-up 5th division. No, I did not, thankfully. That would be horrible. But the Metro, let's end things off strongly. And you can see the predictions right now. And with the Metro, I said, I came with a risky pick starting off. I said the New York Rangers would be first. Actually, I said both New York teams. Oh, no. I said both New York teams would be the top 2 teams. And the Rangers, I got pretty close. And I was not confident in that pick at all. But the Rangers definitely have actually surprised me, if that makes any sense. Because I put them at first, but I just wanted to be different. I wanted to be special. I wanted people to look at my video and say, wow, that guy, he made a bold prediction. And I did. And it kind of turned out well because New York has played pretty good. The Islanders, I should have known better. They're not a very good regular season team. They're usually a good playoff team who barely makes the playoffs. That's how it always is with the Islanders. This year, they kind of missed by a little bit. But yeah, Carolina, Washington got those 2 teams in the playoffs. Carolina a little low. Nailed Washington, though, so that's pretty good. And then you got the Devils. Yeah, I was off with the Devils. I really thought they'd be further along in their rebuild than they are. I honestly thought they would be close to a playoff spot and competing to the end. But every year, it just feels like the Devils are a step back. So that means that next year, I should predict the Devils in the exact same spot I had them in this year. And they should be around there because next year I'd probably have them in the playoffs. So they'll be one step behind. Yeah, you see me. And then Pittsburgh, yeah, I was off with Pittsburgh. Again, saw them as being out, saw them as being done. They're getting older. And who knows, someday they'll have to miss eventually, right? They're going to have to miss the playoffs someday, but this year wasn't that year. They're having a pretty solid year. And then Philadelphia and Columbus. Philadelphia did a pretty good job with Columbus. A little bit off, but still got them right with missing the playoffs. But I knew Columbus would surprise me a bit. I just didn't want to put them ahead of any of the other teams because at the start of the season, it didn't look like Philadelphia would be bad. It didn't look like the New Jersey Devils would be as bad as they are. And I just figured Columbus was not going to be as good as any of those teams. But thank you guys for watching. If you are still here, a little bit of a shorter video, probably under 10 minutes if I'm being honest. But yeah, I just wanted to look back, you know, see how close I actually ended up getting with these predictions that I made. And looking, let's see, I got 5, 6, 7. That's it? Only 7? I only got 2 in the East, right? So I only got 7 out of 32, so that's less than 25%. So yeah, I did not do very good with these predictions at all, actually. I really thought I did better, but I mean, I kind of got some of the playoff teams and non-playoff teams close, but yeah, overall, pretty rough. But thank you guys for watching if you are still here. And if you are still here, I'd like to let you know I have made a channel Instagram, so if you are interested, I might use that for like votes and stuff. Obviously, I won't use that till it gets bigger because I can't have a vote with like 3 people, obviously. But it will be in the link in the description below. I plan on putting it there. I'm hoping the link that I copy and paste works, because if it doesn't, then that's rough. And it's called the Yak Attacks Hockey, so I'm really hoping it works. That would be absolutely fantastic and save me a ton of time. But yeah, it basically will be used for, hey, you want this video or you want this video? Which video should I do? And then Yeah, and I'd post on it sometimes. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I haven't posted yet, but yeah, it's there. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. It means a lot to me. But yeah, see you guys. I'm going to just end it now before I go on more and more and more, because I can go on all day. But yeah, see you guys again.